The opinions expressed are those of the show's host and not the staff or management of Port St. Lucie Broadcasters. Any reproduction without written consent of WSTU and WPSL is strictly prohibited. Now it's time for Quality of Life Radio, brought to you by WellMed. Here are your hosts, Gary Owen and Tom Bouvier.
Hello and good morning to all of our friends listening in on this fabulous, wet Florida Tuesday morning. It is September 21st. And I want to welcome you to our Quality of Life radio show. My name is Gary Owen. I'm your host.
And I'm your co-host, Tom Bouvier.
And by the way, our show is sponsored by WellMed and Lot Insurance Services. And also you can, unfortunately, we're having some technical issues here in the studio this morning. So we're streaming live from my personal Facebook page, Gary William Owen. And you can also catch us live on WSTUtv.com. And if you're driving, put down the bloody phone and drive. Okay? Just drive. Tune in to WPSL 1590 AM or WSTU 1450 AM. And Tommy, why are we here every single Tuesday morning?
Oh, we make it a weekly habit to come here to bring relevant content to our listeners, information that people can actually use. The second reason we come here is because we love to showcase and support and publicize and just put up on a pedestal famous and wonderful local business owners and nonprofit organizations. And thirdly, Gary and I, we bring education, information about insurance planning to help you improve your quality of life. And that's the name of the show, Quality of Life Radio Show.
All right. Very good job. And speaking of relevant content, we're going to share with you some information that you need to know, specifically about Medicare open enrollment and ACA open enrollment. So we have a very special announcement to make for those of you who are under 65 and on health insurance or who may need health insurance. And then we're going to introduce to you our special guest here in just 1 second. And then also throughout the show, we're going to be talking to you about what happened this day in history. Very, very important stuff that happened.
Put your thinking cap on, Bob.
Bob, I'm going to come to Bob first on that.
Grilled.
Where we're going to share a health fact. This is I specifically captured this from the website because of our host, our guest rather. So I'm sure he will be able to answer this one. And then I'm happy to tell you that a friend of mine, I had to get my fishing pole out, 200-pound test line. And I snagged Bob Thornton of O'Donnell.
Ooh, what a big one.
Bob is very well known. He's like the mayor of the Treasure Coast. He's very involved in the community. He makes $1 gazillion a day with windows and doors. And I happen to be one of his clients, and Tom is going to be one of his clients. Too. So take a look at that handsome mug right there. Bob Thornton of O'Donnell Windows and Doors. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning, gentlemen. Thanks for having me. I didn't realize it was a naked event when you record these. So I apologize that I'm over a dress.
Look how good he looks. He's wearing the Emperor's new clothes, special distiller edition this morning. I love it. So, Bob, tell our listening audience and those that are watching live on Facebook and those on WSTU TV and those that are listening in on WSTU and WPSL, tell a little bit about who you are, what you did, from whence ye came, and why the window and door business.
I like whence.
Whence?
From whence ye came.
I feel like we're back in Old England. It's exciting.
Well, that's funny you say Old England because that's part of our day in history if something happened. So you're onto something there, Bob.
Oh, I'm really not that good with history, although I have lived for almost 150 years now. So I know at least recent history.
Wow, you look pretty good for your age.
Yeah, we'll call you Methuselah.
He's one of Methuselah's children.
There we go.
Well, I have a very Forrest Gump life. I went into the Army to learn how to use sky cranes because I always had a thing for heights. And they said, oh, no, we have a place for you. And they put me into the 101st Airborne. And it was just perfect for me. I learned to keep my mouth shut. I learned to follow directions. I learned to complete a mission. And it has served me well in life.
And how long did you serve?
I was in for 6 years.
6 years. So my guess is after 6 years, you left with a grade of E5?
You would think that,
E4.
but if you know me well, and you do know me well, I'm a little bit of a cut up. I always got my mission done, but I had, believe it or not, a little problem with authority. And in the military, that's frowned on.
Yes, that's what I understand.
So I left with the roaring grade of an E4.
Okay, fantastic. And thank you very much for your service.
And
sir.
thank you for your
You
service.
know, we appreciate you and all that you do, not only for our country, for our community, and all the nonprofit organizations. We'll talk about that in just a second, but continue. You are on a roll here.
All right. So I got out. I started working for a fella doing floor refinishing and painting. And I had a knack for growing his business. And he came to me one day while I was working and said, I can't do the floors anymore. You're making it too busy. So I said, sell it to me. So I went into the floor business and I grew it into a very large, respected company, which grew into construction, which grew into real estate. And they did an article in the newspaper, and UBS, which was Payne Weber at the time, knocked on my door, and I went in, and they sent me to school and educated me. And I had a 18-year career on Wall Street. And when the towers collapsed and the economy collapsed, I collapsed with it and ended up giving my book of business away to Big B, Barry O'Neill, great guy. And he's still at UBS running that business. And
Wow.
I'm still waiting for that check, Barry. Still waiting for that check. But
Don't diss our man.
I came back down here, and my barber said, what do you do? And I said, well, right now I'm not really doing anything. I ended up reworking his whole condominium and remembered how much I love being in control of something, creating something, stepping back and saying, I built that. And that's how I got back into construction. And I met Mike and Rachel O'Donnell, and the rest is history. We've just been incredibly blessed. We have about 75 employees now, and it just does my heart so good knowing at the end of the day that we're making a difference in our community.
And what year was that you started over there?
I started in 2009.
Okay.
And then Mike and Rachel and I have been partnered up for, I believe this is our 8th year.
Fantastic. It's amazing, Bob, to see the growth. I mean, obviously since COVID, a lot of businesses failed, faltered, and struggled. But your business, the construction industry, just absolutely soared to new heights.
We certainly didn't know. I knew something bad was coming, something wicked this way comes as we went into the first round. And I spoke with Sheriff Snyder and said, look, we're first responders. Every house we get secured is a house you won't have to rescue in a catastrophic event. And he agreed. He says, I'll do everything to keep you working. I went out on the tarmac with all of our kids, all of our installers, and said, listen, guys, if you're scared and you don't want to come to work, you'll have a job when you come back. But if you need to work, I'll do everything I can to keep you working. And honest and truly, we didn't miss a day. Fortunately, what had been our Achilles heel was the amount of product, the backlog we had of people waiting. No matter how many installers we bring in, it's never enough, thank God, and we like it that way. But because we had so much product, when everything shut down, my kids worked every day. So
that's a great story. And the contributions that you and O'Donnell is giving back to the community speaks volumes to who you are, to your integrity and your commitment to this community. So we applaud you for all that you do, Bob, and keeping the community safe, keeping our homes safe and secure. That's amazing. And I was driving to work this morning. Of course, O'Donnell happens to be conveniently located across the highway from Owen Insurance Group. And it's always amazing to see the trucks, 1,000 trucks, it seems like, pulling out of O'Donnell and heading south or heading north, a convoy of O'Donnell trucks. But then this morning, I saw 3 huge semis trying to get into your location in your parking lot, just waiting on US 1 to get in. You must have had, God knows how much inventory in those 3 trucks.
It's funny because we had such a backlog. PGT, which is our main manufacturer, wasn't able to meet the demand. And I got a call about 6 weeks ago from our rep, Tom Adams, and he said, hey, Bob, you're going to be getting 10,000 units, so we don't want to overwhelm you. And I said, send it, ship
Send
it.
it on.
And we've,
Cool.
with that truck today, we've probably had 10,000 units come in the last 6 weeks. So all the warehouses are full again. And I tell all our kids, what that gives us is job security, so that if everything shuts down, we got plenty of windows and doors to install.
So do you think my order was on one of those trucks?
And mine.
Remember, I'm the least
I
responsible
I know.
person to
If
ask.
you
check
want to
on
know
that for
something,
us?
don't call Bob.
No, call O'Donnell. Don't call Bob.
I think when I placed my order, well, this is my second order. So my first order got installed. It went very well. It looks beautiful. I'm happy. And now my second order will complete my whole home. So my whole house will be protected with impact glass. And so now I believe when we signed the contract a few months ago, I was told December. So I don't know. You guys stepped it up for me this first order. I think you were 2 months early, so maybe you'll be 2 months early for be my Christmas present.
I just can't. I can't comment.
Can
on
you promise that? Can you guarantee? No.
They'll take me out to the woodshed.
Yeah, absolutely. So O'Donnell has a very, very well respected name in this community. Why do you think that is, Bob? I mean, you have a lot, just as such as I do. Owen Insurance Group has a lot of competitors. You have a lot of competitors. But what separates O'Donnell from everybody else?
Service. That's, I would say it's our service. I've got an incredible team that allows me to do stuff like this while they're all working and making it happen. And I just get to be the face of the company, which really isn't kind of fair because we have better looking people in the company, including my partners. But
I can't wait to be like you when I grow up.
But it's we really genuinely care, and we try to instill ownership thinking with all of our employees. We have a 401k with a match. We have a profit share. We have paid holidays, paid vacation. We have a CrossFit gym built for them. They just need to sign a waiver. They can work out for free. And it's the kind of place that we want people to have a good time. And my installers, I tell them, a lot of times you'll hear them say, oh, well, I'm just an installer. And I say, I want you to think when you're out there today and you're taking those windows out that have been there for 40 years, the men who put those in probably aren't on the planet anymore.
Right.
So the work you're doing today is going to outlive you.
Yeah.
And it's your calling card. And they do. Every one of them, from start to finish, they make us look great.
I think, you're synonymous with the word SIP, the acronym SIP: service, integrity, and professionalism. That's what it takes to be successful in this business today. If you lack any one of those core competencies, how do you survive? There's just so much competition out there, and people want to do business with people they know, like, the trust, that have integrity and professionalism.
It's the truth. There's no shortcuts. And what people don't understand, my partner Mike is great at, he's a lot less emotional than I am, which is it makes for a good partnership. But he says, when I get fired up because somebody's trying to steal our ads or, undercut us, and he says, Bob, you could write a book that says this is exactly how you do it. And no one would do it because they don't want to put in that time. They don't want to go back to that job that they've already lost money on. It's kind of like that boat, you're just pouring money into a hole in the ocean. I've had jobs like that. But by going back and making it right, that's what people remember. And that little deal you got at the beginning of your purchase is going to be long forgotten years later when you're suffering with poor quality, poor install. You could have the best windows in the world installed incorrectly and they don't work, and you could have the worst windows in the world installed correctly and they make all the difference. And so we're bringing both the quality and the quality of install.
So I want to just give you guys a plug, because you talk about service, and then it's not lip service, because you provide service. It's great service. And case in point was about a week ago, I got a call from it actually had your name on it. I thought it was you calling me. And it was one of your gals in the office. It left a message. And Mr. Owen, this is someone, I don't know if it was Amy or who it was, calling from O'Donnell. I just want to let you know that, we apologize for the delay, but just let you know that we're still thinking about you. You're coming up soon. And as soon as we get your materials in, we'll get you scheduled right away. So just want to let you know we're thinking about you. Do you know what that meant to me?
I love to hear
I mean, who does that?
O'Donnell.
O'Donnell.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that it just speaks volumes to your service, and that's phenomenal. Kudos to you and what you do. When we come back from our first break, Bob, we're going to grill you some more. And then when we come back from our break, we've got some people that I want to give some shout outs who are watching us this morning. And you're listening to the Quality of Life radio show on WSTU 1450 AM, America's Heritage Station, and WPSL 1590. Go ahead, grab another cup of Joe, take a tinkle. We'll be right back.
Welcome back from our short break. You're listening to the Quality of Life radio show, and a big thank you to one of the sponsors of our show, and that is Lot Insurance Services. You can trust them for all your home, auto, boat, and business insurance needs. If you're looking to save a lot, call the Lot Brothers, located on US 1 just north of Midway Road in St. Lucie County.
So I'm showing everybody live on my Facebook feed in the studio. So I'm taking my camera on my iPhone and turning around, showing Evan 9. I see Connie Miller is listening and watching on the show this morning. Good morning, Connie. Debbie Temple Bouvier.
Woo-hoo!
Hi,
Beautiful.
Debbie. Hi, love. She loves this. Ted Russo, thanks for watching, everybody. So thanks for coming back from the break, and hopefully you got your second, third, fourth cup of Joe. We have a very special guest, a good friend of mine, Bob Thornton with O'Donnell Windows and Doors, and we're talking about how important it is to have windows and doors provide you protection during the hurricane season. It's great to not have to go outside when the hurricane is coming barreling down on the state of Florida, having to go outside, take off work, put up the window treatments and cover your windows and doors outside. It's ridiculous. It's hot. It's muggy. It's miserable. You get cut up. You got to go to the hospital, have to have surgery. It's a nightmare.
Woo!
Stop it.
So you'll need health insurance too.
Stop the madness.
Yeah.
And call O'Donnell. Bob Thornton is with us this morning, and they probably are the premier hurricane protection entity on the Treasure Coast, if not in the state of Florida. I know they're growing. Bob told me recently that they're probably expanding to the West Coast, but maybe I better not say that. Maybe they're expanding in Georgia and Alaska. Who knows? But I know that they're growing exponentially. But Bob, how important is it to use O'Donnell and to have hurricane protection with hurricane glass and windows? And we know there's different grades and protection when it comes to impact glass. Speak to that and how important it is, and what should they be looking at?
Well, first of all, the code here is the Florida Builder Code. We actually build to the Miami-Dade code, which is a little bit higher. It's more screws per window, because our whole slogan is our family protecting your family, and we actually live to that. If there's a better product out there, if there's a way to keep you safer, we're going to make sure we take care of it, and we're going to do it the right way. You can you can really rest assured when you get impact windows and doors that, first of all, a catastrophic weather event, you're going to be protected. More importantly, it's a great theft deterrent. They can't.
Oh my goodness, yes.
They can't get through it, and it's nice. I work a lot. I do a lot out there in the community, and I like to know that Amy's at home. She's safe. That people aren't coming in. They're not going to break in through the doors and windows. We had the good fortune of working for the sheriff, and we did his house not really for storm protection, but because he does a good job. Unfortunately, some of the people that he locks up want to come after him, and as he said, Bob, I'm not at home. I need to know that my family's safe, and that's a big plus. And then the energy efficiency is incredible. I have a little ranch in Hope Sound, and I bought it right before the crash because I have impeccable timing. And as I was swimming as fast as I could to keep from going under during the recession, I couldn't afford to do anything on my house. I had the worst windows and doors. My utility bill typically in the summer is around $250. Well, finally, I'm so grateful that last year we finally got our windows done after 10, 12 years. And my largest utility bill this summer was $137.
Fantastic.
Wow.
I have a 2-story home, and since we've done what we did with you so far, we got 3 windows to go, but my electric bill dropped down. I'm about the same where you're at, I'm about $150 a month with my electric bill, and I'm sure when I get the rest of the windows in, that will drop down even more. So we're excited about the savings over time. Will certainly help make that investment worthwhile for sure.
100%. It's even buying it when you go to sell your home, about 80% of what you've invested is added to the value of your house.
That absolutely makes sense. So we know that there's a lot of competitors out there talking about they come to your home and they show you this dog and pony show with the glass and the fan and all this crazy, and then they use better quality grade windows and this and that and the other. Speak to that for a moment, because listen, we know that there are sheep.
Well,
wolves clothing.
Sheep's and wolves clothing. First of all,
or wolves and sheep's clothing. That was the other way around.
We're not chucking the truck. We're not working. My sales consultants, we're not salesmen. They're consultants. They come in, they're going to give you an education, what you can and can't do on your home, how much protection you're going to have. And they're not pulling out the heat gun and look at this and here's their cutaway. And there's actually a company that has one of our cutaways that they pulled the aluminum frame out of the vinyl and said, see, it doesn't even have an aluminum frame. We have showrooms, so you can come in and kick the tires. You can see actual product. They'll walk you through the warehouses, and you can see every configuration you can imagine. And all the product there is already spoken for. It's all going into people's homes. So we're transparent. I know we're in the window business. Oh. no pun.
Very
no,
low E and transparent. Low E and transparency.
Nope. There you go. I like that. I might have to steal that, Gary. The low E is energy efficient coating. It's incredible that the majority of the UV rays hit that window and they're deflected right back outside again. And we do everything the same. It's so that we know when we do your job, we're doing it properly. If there's a problem, 5 years from now, you're going to pick up the phone and call us. And guess what? We've got 2 full-time service trucks on the road. We're going to come out and fix it, so that the next time I'm out at a show or doing something, I don't have a line of people with "I hate O'Donnell, see me first," or out in front of the showrooms. We're just not going to ever allow that to happen.
So we were, just to let everybody know, this weekend we were busy. Bob and I both worked Saturday and Sunday at the Port St. Lucie Home Show. And the number of people that were at your booth, I mean, you were 2-3 deep, and it was amazing to see the magic that you guys were doing there at the home show this weekend. How did that go for you? It's always incredible. We have such a community, and we do what we do because I truly believe, as you know, Gary, in the give back. And I really care about people. I care about the people that work for us, and I really care about my community. When my phone rings and somebody says, hey, these people need help, we do everything we can to help them. What comes back in return is, like this weekend at the home show, my kids are up there sharing with potential customers, and past customers
come up and do a commercial for us and say, these guys are awesome. They did my job 7 years ago. You cannot pay for advertising like that.
No way. And by the way, Bob was alluding to the fact that giving back to the community. So one of the things that he's heavily involved with is Tykes and Teens, and he pulled my arm. There was not that much pulling, but it's amazing to see what these nonprofit organizations do. So Bob and I are, in fact, if you go to my Facebook page, you'll see a picture of me in my reindeer outfit.
And what reindeer?
Without
who are you going to be?
Without the horns, of course. He's going to be
Rudolph.
Rudolph?
No. I'm Rudolph. I said I'm going to be Rudolph.
Oh,
you can be Prancer.
Prancer. I
Prancer.
Let's give a shout out
Comet
to Tykes and Teens for those of you who are a part of that. The reindeers and dames and what they do for the children of our community. Talk a little bit about what that means to you.
Tykes and Teens is an incredible organization. They provide mental health care for families, especially for children that have suffered abuse, loss, either physical, sexual. And sadly, with everything that's gone on with COVID and all of these restrictions, these kids are really suffering. And I believe our last meeting, I asked how many kids are on the waiting list right now, just waiting to get counseling, that are in desperate need of it. And I think she said the number was 364, which breaks my heart. Everything that we do for Tykes and Teens, it's going right back out to the community. And when we have the Christmas Tree Festival, it's a 5-day. And Courtney, if I made a mistake, I apologize. Courtney's running the whole shooting match there, but you can bring your family down. It's a free event. Go through. There's trees, wreaths, centerpieces. It's just a great time. Santa's going to be there, from what I understand. I don't personally know Santa. I was always on the naughty list, so he didn't spend a lot of time.
You think Santa will have a frame kind of like you?
And laugh like that. You laugh like Santa.
And I'm getting a pot belly like Santa.
I think we all could probably take the place for Santa this year, the gray, and the belly. So, and it's not funny. Stop laughing. Stop laughing, Evie. I think Evie's laughing. She says, she says an amazing organization. Fantastic. Hi, Sandy. Hello, Benet. Teddy Russo, thanks for watching, everybody. And also, I just want to say real quick, it's just not the Tykes and Teens that we're affiliated with, that we support. There are some other phenomenal nonprofit organizations out there in the community, like Madison Miracles and Catch the Wave, Arc of Martin County, the Boys and Girls Club. So we are happy and proud supporters of those organizations. And one of the things that we do, all three of us here in the studio this morning are part of TC Masterminds group. And so we are having an annual gala in March, and we're going to, obviously we'll get our BOD, a board of directors, together, and we're going to put together the date, the time, the location, what we're going to do, and whatever money and proceeds that we garner from this initiative, we're going to give back to those organizations, those nonprofits that is part of this community and part of TC Mastermind. So stay tuned for that. There's a lot of great things that we're doing and giving back to the community. There's a great need in this community. There is a great need. I don't want to get off on a political tangent, but it saddens my heart to see that we're bringing in people from across the border that really may not contribute to our country, but in our backyard, we have children, we have adults are living in the woods, and that we're not supporting that. So I think we as a country need to wake up, in my opinion, in my feeble, humble opinion, and support those that need help in our backyard and our communities.
Here, here.
Well said. It seems overwhelming when you look at the big picture and what difference can one person make? Well, I can't make a difference with the 10,000 people under a bridge in Texas, but I can make a difference with the kid who's ringing me up for coffee at Cumberland Farms. I heard Sheriff Snyder speak one morning, and he said, at the end of it, he said, you don't have to be the sun to the whole world, but you can be a candle to one person.
I like that.
And when we start taking that in every day, before you roll out of bed in the morning, think, I'm here to make a difference. Yep. And I owe it I owe it to the guy that's in the mirror, and I owe it to everyone I come in contact.
Absolutely. And you can see Bob is as emotional as I am. So as soon as he starts to tear, that he causes a chain reaction with me, and I don't like that. But anyway, we appreciate your emotion, your integrity, your support to our community and what you do, what you stand for, Bob. And thank you for being you.
Oh, thanks, man.
Appreciate it. So we got 5 minutes before we go on our first break, but I want to cover real quick. I guess I'll turn this around. What little tear from my eye. All right. So I want to talk about health facts to you, because this is something that we do every Tuesday on our show. We pull a health fact. So, and I know that you love to ride bicycles.
Correct.
This is why he's such a hunky, buffy man, and I've got the pot belly. So less than 1% of Americans ride their bike to work. I know you don't ride your bike to work probably, but I would say probably you could take off the word to work and say less than 1% of Americans ride their bike.
True. True.
It's amazing. But you're putting your life in your hands if you're on these highways riding your bike. That's scary out there.
I do a lot less road riding now, but on Saturday mornings, here's my shameless plug for my little bike riding group. We meet at the Hope Sound Bike Shop, and we do a 20-miler out to the Jupiter Lighthouse and back, and it's a no-drop ride. So no matter what pace you're starting at, we're going to make sure you're taken care of. And it's a great group of kids, and plus one old guy. That would be me.
20 miles. I could probably go 20 yards.
But it's I call it my time machine. It's a great thing to do. We actually, thanks to Amy, we got a Peloton a few years ago, and it's been a game changer. I never thought I could ride indoors, and it's actually a lot of fun.
So, Bob, for those people that are dying to contact O'Donnell to get a quote, to have someone come out, and who do they call? What's the website? What's the phone number?
Okay, the phone number is 772-408-0200. That's the main line. When you hear my annoying voice, press 1, and you'll be transferred to the sales department, and you can make it happen. The website is o'donnellstormprotection.com, ODONNELL stormprotection.com, all one word. And those are the two easiest ways to get a hold of us. I would love to tell you to call me, but you'll just get frustrated because I'll see a squirrel and something shiny, and that'll be the end of that.
So don't forget the 2 N's and the 2 L's. Bob, one more time with a phone number while they're running to get their pad and a pen that doesn't work. One more time for the phone number. 772-408-0200. And at the prompt, press 1, and you'll go right to sales. All right, there you have it. So we are going to talk about, Tom and I have a lot to talk about today. We always have a lot to talk about, but important information for you, every single one of you that's watching, that's listening. And for those of you that see our smoke signal, you see the multicolors. But we're going to talk about this day in history, what happened on September 21, 1780. Bob was alive when that happened. He can speak to this truth. He can go back and see this person committing the act of treason that he committed. So with that in mind, we're going to take our last break of the show. Stay tuned. Hope you're enjoying the show. If you're not, you're either what?
Alive. No, dead or not listening.
Dead or not listening. Yeah. So we're just not paying attention. So anyway, we thank you for watching and listening to the world famous, hot, sexy, quality of life radio show with great host and great co-host and great guest of our show. You're listening to us on WSTU 1450 AM, hopefully, and WPSL 1590 AM, hopefully. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. welcome back from our short break. You're listening to the Quality of Life Radio Show. A big thank you to another one of our sponsors, WellMed Medical. You know that a good primary care physician is always in great demand, and so many currently do not have a primary care provider. So go check out WellMed Medical for all your primary care needs, and they have 4 convenient locations right here on the Treasure Coast. All right, so this day in history on September 21, Bob, back in 1780, during the American Revolution, General Benedict Arnold meets with British Major John Andre to discuss handing over West Point to the British in return for the promise of large sums of money and a high position in the British Army. A plot was foiled, and Arnold, a former American hero, became synonymous with the word traitor. So there's a huge story about it. Very interesting as I was reading that this morning. So Google this day in history to learn what happened to Arnold. Obviously, that was a very turning point, a huge turning point in the American Revolution. So learn more. Well, you're breathing heavy.
I'm just thinking.
Oh, okay.
I breathe heavy when I think.
was wondering what was going on over there across the table. And also, you know.
What happened to Benedict Arnold?
What happened? Do you know what happened to Benedict
Arnold? I believe
Arnold?
he was executed.
He was hung.
You think?
So if military leaders talk to our enemies and conspire with them and tell them things, even in this day and age, what do you think should happen to them?
I think that's an act of treason.
I think that's an act of treason.
So, Evan, do you know what happened to Benedict Arnold? Do you want to give a quick idea what your thought was?
After him breathing heavy out.
That's what
it just means I'm thinking.
So what happened with Benedict Arnold? Well, let's go back to the British major. What happened to him? Yes, he got executed. He was hung. And then what happened was Arnold escaped the American forces and fled to Britain. And so he moved to England. But the problem was he never received all of what he had been promised by the British. And he died in London in June of 1801. So I'm sure that he is still burning in hell for his treachery.
Here, here.
So, okay, just want to let everybody know. Tom?
Yes.
October 15 is D-Day for us. What does that mean to those who may be listening, watching?
Absolutely. So October 15th is the first day of the annual election period or annual enrollment period for those who are currently on Medicare. And what that does, what that date symbolizes is the ability to change your plan for 2022, because all the Medicare Advantage prescription drug plans, 99% of them have changes, and people who are currently Medicare beneficiaries, that's their open window to make a change. So if they've been complaining, they don't like something, their doctor's not in network, the drug's not covered the way they thought it would be, they are able to make a change. So it's the Medicare's annual enrollment period.
And by the way, we're fielding a lot of emails and phone calls from clients and prospects about, hey, I have received my notice, my ANOC, the annual notice of change in the mail, and it's telling me my premiums are going up from $14.60 to $68 a month. What gives? Well, there's a lot of changes this year in Medicare Advantage and Part D prescription drug plans. So if you are on a PDP plan or on a Medicare Advantage plan, not on supplement, not on Medicare supplement, I know majority of Medicare beneficiaries don't know the distinction between the two. This is why you should call the experts at Owen Insurance Group at 772-210-1020. Or Tom, what's another number they can reach us
They
at?
can also reach us at 772-210-1020.
So there you have it. Call. And by the way, as I said before, we're located right across the street from O'Donnell. So when you go in and take a look at Bob's Impact Glass and his transparency, you can walk across the street, drive across the street, fly across the street, come in and land in front of our office and check us out. And we will help you and guide you and educate you about the decisions and the choices that you have. We're not going to sell you anything. We're going to educate you first and foremost. That's important. And then secondly, Tom, coming up on November 1st, what's happening November 1st?
And November 1st is actually the day one for the open enrollment period for under 65 individuals, people who on the marketplace, ACA, Obamacare, the marketplace plans starts November 1st and it runs through December 15th, and a possibility of going to the end.
Wait a minute. You never got the memo, did you?
It may go to the end of the year. No, what's the memo?
I love it. I love it.
Oh, I
forgot. It's my
memo?
fault, actually. I forgot to send the memo out to all my agents. But as of yesterday, the Biden administration has announced that they're extending the ACA open enrollment from December 15th to January 15th. So it gives those of you that are out there on an ACA or health insurance plan another 30 days to make an election. So, and it's ironic that so many wait till the last week and sometimes the last day to get anything done. So, and hello to my Aunt Pat in Ohio who's watching. She faithfully watches her most handsome, her favorite nephew in the world. So I appreciate that. And my Aunt Debbie as well. It really is important, Bob, to get your health insurance correct and sit down and discuss your options. There are agents out there that are selling some other alternative plans to full comprehensive health insurance. We had an instance with one of your employees, if you don't mind elaborating on how that transpired, and we appreciate you referring them to us. And how important was that for that individual?
Well, it's a great story, but first of all, I have to tell you, I have a confession to make that I am not the original Bob Thornton. There's a fellow sitting in Cape Cod watching us right now.
Yes.
And his name is Bob Thornton. And when I worked, that's my friend Gary, Dad. And and when I worked with him when I was a kid, I had a habit, believe it or not, of getting in trouble in school. And a lot of times I was not allowed to go to school. Well, my dad, being the original Bob Thornton, knew if he left me on the street, I would just get in more trouble. So I would have to go to work with him. And when people would come in, my dad, who I look just like, I'm just the oversized version, he would say, I'm the original Bob Thornton. And I developed a little line and I'd say, I'm just like the products. I'm the new and improved Bob Thornton. I'm bigger and stronger. So I wanted to say that, but truly, Gary, the difference you made, one of my sales guys, Rich, who's an awesome guy, married, young wife, little girl, he had a heart attack a couple of years ago and we almost lost him. Well, they put a stent in. Unfortunately, it was botched, but he didn't know that. And he just knew something was wrong. Rich has been a hockey player his whole life, athlete. You know, it's kind of like, are you injured or are you hurt? If you're injured, you can't play. If you're hurt, you just play through it. Well, he knew something was wrong, and he told me that. He didn't have any insurance, and he was told by several agents that he couldn't get insurance. And he knew something was wrong with his heart. He thought it was another issue, and heart disease runs in his family. Well, I said, go see my friend Gary. And he called Gary up, and Gary got him connected. Gary got him enrolled in a very good plan. And he ended up going into the hospital, and the stent had been put in wrong. He had a 95% blockage in his main, whatever, you can tell I didn't pay attention, it's called artery. They call it the widowmaker. Well, they corrected it, and he sent me a beautiful text saying that the doctor told him he was probably 2 weeks from death. And if it weren't for Gary, we would have lost Rich.
And
awesome.
That's a great story.
Awesome.
And, you know, that is what we do. It's not about selling insurance. It's not about making a buck. It's about changing the lives of people. And, you know, to what Bob said earlier this morning, service is important. And as I said, SIP, right? That is important. Service, integrity, and professionalism. Let's take care of our community. And when you do that, when you do what you're supposed to do, I believe that Zig Ziglar said it the best. He said, when you help enough people get what they want, you will get what you want. So that's my mission, to help as many people as I can, because there's a lot of misinformation out there about insurance. There's a lot of bad actors, and just like there is in any other industry. But being here on the Treasure Coast for 36 years, winning the award from the Better Business Bureau the ethics, the torture words for ethics. I think that's important as a small business owner. So it kind of speaks to who we are, and the likes of Bob Thornton and O'Donnell Windows and Doors. So we're here in our community. We're employing people. We're trying to make enriching the lives of not only our employees, the people that we love, our families, but our community, because you that are in our community are our family. So it's take care of the people. And as Louis always says, one of my field managers in Southwest Florida, when you take care of the people will take care of you. And that is true. And so Bob is to Bob's success. When you do what you're supposed to do, it comes around. So if you have questions about health insurance, we're here. If you don't feel that you can call, because we don't charge for our services. It's amazing the number of people, and Tom and I see this every day and every week. People go, "Oh, how much do I owe you for this?" Well, you just owe me one thing. That's it. Just one thing. Don't keep us a secret. That's all that you owe us. Don't keep us a secret. Let people know that we're here, that we're being transparent, we're being truthful and honest and educating consumers, because again, being here on the Church Coast for 36 years, I wouldn't be here if I didn't have the credibility and the trust. It'd be kind of hard to own a small business if people didn't trust you. So we will do always 100% what's right. And listen, there have been many times people have come through our doors, Tom, at our office at 1611 Northwest Federal Highway in Stewart, right behind Key West Diner. And we would review their insurance policy, whether it was a life insurance policy or health insurance policy or a Medicare policy. And we would sit down and we would do a cost benefit analysis, and we would determine that they're on the best plan. And we would say, there's nothing we can do for you. You're on the best plan possible. So it would not make sense for us. It would not be professional for us or ethical for us to tell you yes, we could probably have enrolled you in a different plan, earned commission on that plan, and probably may not have hurt you that much, but we don't want to do that at all. So contact Owen Insurance Group if you have questions. If you need health insurance, have questions about health insurance. There are 3 new carriers, Tom, coming into the Treasure Coast this AEP season. So Florida Blue they have owned the market for how many years now? They've owned the market on the Treasure Coast, the only game in town. So I'm happy to announce that come this open enrollment, November 1st through January 15th, there now will be six new carriers on the Treasure Coast that we can quote you to see and to determine the best plan for you. So what does that mean, Tom, when you have more competition coming into the town?
Yes, more competition in our free enterprise system typically improves the quality of the services, the benefits in an insurance product, because everyone's vying for your attention. Everyone wants you to be their client and their customer. So I'm excited about this because it's going to give us more options. And because we are not a one shoe fits all type of industry, we listen to the needs, and now we have going to have 6 or 7 different people to look at for your needs, wants, desires, your budgets, your network, your drugs, your benefits, everything you're looking for, I believe can be found in one of those plans. So now,
and speak to options. The ARPA Act. What does that mean to consumers out there who have a health insurance policy or who may be interested in obtaining a health insurance policy?
Right. The ARPA Act actually increased the tax credits for individuals and families looking for a plan through the marketplace, because I can't tell you how many people have said, "Oh, I tried the marketplace and I make too much money," And I said, "Well, when's the last time you checked?" "Oh, 2 years ago or a year and a half ago." Well, the ARPA Act began, I believe, in March of this year, extends all the way through 2022. There's funding that gives tax credits, or you could call it a subsidy, based on your income on the premium. So a premium that may have $800 health insurance plan, based on your income, you may only pay $150. You may pay under $100, and there's a large percentage of people are paying way below $100 per month based on this new ARPA Act and the tax credits.
And by the way, I want to kind of let everybody know about what's happening with these ridiculous commercials that we're seeing JJ Dynamite, call now! And Football Hall of Famer Joe Namath, call now! People are sick and tired of those bloody commercials. I know that we are. I know that you are. And yet there are millions, if not hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of consumers actually calling that number and speaking to a call center in God knows where. And they're being spoken to, and those people on the other end of the phone in the call center are enrolling them in a one-size-fits-all solution. So as Tom alluded to earlier. So my advice is to, number one, don't take the road alone. Call a trusted Medicare or a trusted insurance agent who specializes in Medicare. That would be Owen Insurance Group. And number two, don't go to a football Hall of Famer or a celebrity to get your Medicare. Just doesn't feel right. Doesn't make sense. So we will certainly provide you unbiased information, education, so you can make the right choice. Because if you don't get Medicare right the first time, the decisions that you make today can last a lifetime. And we tell people that all the time. And unfortunately, there are people out there, agents out there, that don't educate the consumer properly. And then they enroll them in a certain plan because maybe they make higher commissions on those types of plans. And then down the road, the consumer realizes what they're in and they want to change. And if they have a pre-existing condition, they may not be able to change. So call Owen Insurance Group at 772-210-1020, and we'll get you the down low and the skinny of what you to do. The show's already over. It's amazing, Tom, how time flies. Next week, our special guest on the show will be Dr. Leo Hart of Complete Care Chiropractic, and Tom and I will continue espousing valuable insurance benefits and planning solutions. We thank you for all of you today that are watching on Facebook Live or listening on the radio on WSTUTV.com. Thanks for joining us. We hope that you enjoyed the show and our guest extraordinaire, Bob Thornton.
Thank you, Bob.
Yeah, thank you, Bob. We appreciate it. Thank you for joining us. Share us with your friends, your family, your neighbors. And remember, stay safe, keep healthy, be happy, and enjoy your quality of life. Take care, everybody.